As we've been showing you in our spotlight segments, artists are not idle, even during the times when they were forced to stay isolated and indoors. Many have been busy helping others with their creativity. Montreal artist and illustrator François Escalmel is known for his surrealistic paintings and photographic art. He usually has several projects in the works, and the one we'll talk about today is something that promotes literacy and community. Hello, François.
Hi, Paul.
You've constructed something that we see popping up in many places. Please tell us about it.
Well, I've built a little free library. It's always something that I love to go check them in my neighborhood. And I thought, well, why not build my own and have it in front of my house?
Well, it looks very charming. So this is a little library that sits outside full of books, and you donated the books?
Yes. They're all donated freely. I've always gathered lots of books in my house. Nowadays, it's pretty easy to get them cheap. I love books so much. Even though nowadays we're in digital and virtual age, my love of books is maybe even greater. And I thought that, well, what a great way to share all these books with the people in my neighborhood, and maybe with a special thought for the kids. Their lives would be enriched by having books.
I understand that completely. You like the physical object of the book in this digital age. So people will take a book out of there, and the theory is they'll put another book in. But unlike the big public libraries, they don't need a library card, and they can even keep the book if they want to.
Exactly. You don't need anything, basically. You're just walking by and you can see what's in there. If you see something you like, you can just take it. At the beginning, I had like a little sign that said, if you take one, you must leave one. And I thought it was too restricting. So the idea is basically to make it completely free, completely about sharing. So if you want to see something you like, you take it.
So not so many rules. And when did you get the idea to build your library?
I think it was maybe a year ago, because I'm such a fan of these little libraries in my neighborhood. And then I asked a friend who's much better at building things in wood to do a plan, a detailed plan, or like where the pieces go and how to cut them. And then I didn't have the time to execute that. And then the pandemic hit, and I didn't really want to go buy the wood in a lumber yard. So I just look around the house and said, I'm going to find some pieces to build it with that. And I ended up using really old furniture that I had around, like the case of the little library is two drawers glued together. And then just adding like that bits and pieces, planks and bits of wood to create the whole thing that would work.
It's such a charming box you made, and that squirrel image adds a lot to the charm. Where did that come from?
The squirrel was also, it was a framed wood engraving that I found maybe in a flea market or something. It was beautifully done. I don't know by whom. So this is something I already had. And I just cut the image so that it would fit the side of the library. And another side of it is an image, a publicity image for wine, I think. So I just had these funny little images, but to keep it like kind of vintage and old and used, because that's what I like when you feel like the humanity, it's been used of the object. And that's what I use to decorate it.
Well, it's quite the object to look at, and nothing you do, Francois, is common or ordinary. What else about your little free library makes it unusual?
Where there's one little kind of hidden thing in there. Because I didn't have a plan, I just built it as I went along. And then at some point, I realized that between the ceiling and the roof, there would be a little room there that would be, once I put the roof in, it would be closed forever. So to make it more interesting and a bit more, maybe a little joke, me and my son, we glued little figurines in there. We also signed our names and the year it was made, and even added a little Houdini posters in there, as if to encourage the characters that were there to, even if it's not possible, to possibly try to escape the secret room.
That adds so much to the appeal of this little object, the fact that you have a secret room. And it also sounds like this project appeals a bit to your love of miniature things that we've seen in your photographs made from the teeny model sets.
That's very true. I've always been, I guess, very mesmerized by space and architecture and how to build it very, very, very simply with simple materials. And you're right, this building of the little library fit right in there with those interests of mine.
And you also seem very interested in doing something that benefits the community. Now, how successful has your little free library been?
It's been very successful. I think we waited only 2 days before we had like a visitor. My son really enjoys the little library. He was very excited when we put it out. We even did a little ceremony of cutting the ribbon to declare it officially open. And he's very keen on going there and see if anything's changed and see if there's anything for him, of course, that would interest him. And it's been great. There's been a big exchange of books going and new books coming in.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, what else are you working on, Francois?
I'm working presently on a stop motion film, a short film. So I'm building actually now a new little set which takes place in a forest, and I've dreamed up a little story. Don't know how long it's going to take, but very excited about this new endeavor.
Well, we're excited to see the progress of your animated film. And François Escalmel, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It's always great to know how creative people are using their talents to help out their communities.
Thank you. It was my pleasure, Paul.
And you may learn more about the art of François Escalmel at mountainlake.org. We also have resources for you there about starting your own little free library.
Spotlight is supported by the Glenn and Carol Pearsall Adirondack Foundation, dedicated to improving the quality of life for year-round residents of the Adirondack Park.